Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. I hope you're all doing really well, and just give me a second to fix my microphone. Okay. So today I am doing a collective reading and energy update for our beautiful collective here on YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's reading video. And I am going to go ahead and start by shuffling the cards. So I really don't have a clear idea of what's going to be coming through this reading. I am really just going to be allowing the energy to carry the messages here. So what can I channel for all of the beautiful souls listening here? What do you need to know most at this time? Okay, so the first card here is the Seven of Wands. I'm getting a strong sense of someone holding their ground here. Now, you guys who follow my readings a lot know that I do tend to channel into many different people and threads of energy. So whenever I channel into a thread of energy, it could apply to something happening within you internally. It also could apply to some external person or situation. So take it however it resonates. And of course, if it doesn't really seem to be connecting for you at all, then use your intuition on that as well. Because it's really my goal through these readings to simply reconnect you with what your intuition already knows. And that really is the compass of your life experience. So whenever I begin to pick up on masculine or feminine energies, or I'm kind of sensing that vibe, keep in mind as well that these are labels that I use in these readings to describe energies. And we all have a balance internally of both the masculine and the feminine. So whenever I say that something is giving a masculine or a feminine energy, it could be an external person or situation that carries more of that energy at this time. But this also could be your internal masculine or your internal feminine. And sometimes it can apply in both directions. So you can listen to a reading and at times apply it to what's happening in your internal world, and then listen back to certain parts and apply it externally as well. Again, but only if it's connecting for you in that way. I really get the sense of someone really holding to something. This gives me the sense of someone standing their ground, even though there's a lot of external pressure around them. There's a lot of solar plexus chakra energy here, which is connected to one's sense of confidence. And I'm hearing true soul identity. So it's almost like there's a person here who is saying, I know who I am. I know what I stand for. And I'm not going to compromise on that, regardless of external pressures. It feels like a really strong but soulful resolve. So with justice reversed, I'm also getting the sense that there is something heavily karmic about what this person is standing up against, or about these pressures externally. It's almost like they are breaking free of some kind of contract, metaphorically speaking, with external people, situations, pressures that used to have some kind of hold over them or some kind of control over them. I'm hearing I do this because I love myself. So I'm hearing an exercise in self-love, maybe for the person listening here. And again, this really could apply to you. Maybe this has been your energy around something where your soul has been leading you into something, or making you want to hold your ground. I'm getting for some of you, there may be some decision that you're making or that you were guided to make, and you may have people externally trying to pressure you out of your choice or into a different decision. But you know that whatever this decision is, was self-loving for you and truly coming from the soul. And because you've developed that really soul level confidence and resiliency, you're holding true to whatever those intentions are. Now, for others of you, this may be an external person who's come into some kind of decision or is holding their ground on something in a new way that is triggering karmic energies around them. And if this person has some kind of soul bond with you, you may be sensing that they're going through this. Interesting. So we're starting off in kind of a very, I would say, quantum way here, describing these energy dynamics that I feel could apply in many different directions depending on you and your situation. But with the Three of Swords and the Star, there seems to be a level of heartbreak here, or like a heavy energy around the heart chakra, almost like a grief or a heaviness. And yet at the same time, there's this deep sense of renewal. A message that I kept picking up that I don't know exactly how it's going to tie into these readings, but I'm feeling guided to mention it now. I have been picking up on this theme collectively of re-entering into physical places or spaces, or maybe just going there in your mind. You don't necessarily have to go there physically. I'm hearing this as a process you'll be very guided through if this message is for you. So maybe you strongly felt the need to go back to a particular environment or place physically, or maybe you went there in your imagination, or you just found this coming up for you a lot. You kind of like re-entered it emotionally or energetically. But in any case, I'm getting that this is happening for the purpose of retrieving something, retrieving fragments, almost like of yourself from past timelines. What I'm getting, and wow, this is going to get so specific. I don't know who this is for. I would love to know in the comments if this is for you, because this is one of those messages that I'm really not sure who it's going to be for or how it's going to connect. But what I'm getting is that for the person I'm tapped into here, you felt guided to go back into a past place, environment, or again, like it could be just a mental exercise, like you began thinking heavily of it, or you reached out to a particular person or something like that. And you couldn't really understand why you suddenly felt so called back, but something about it felt undeniable is what I'm picking up on. Like I had to go back, or I had to re-immerse in this, or I had to reach out to this person, whatever it is. I feel like you emotionally went back into whatever this was for the purpose of retrieving something, although that retrieval may not be immediately obvious. I'm getting something about the benefit of doing this being extremely powerful, but very subtle at first. So most likely at first, you won't necessarily understand why you felt so guided to do this. And in fact, I'm hearing that at times it may strike you as really strange, or depending on what it is, for some, this may even be a bit frustrating. Like, why did I feel the need to speak with this person, or to go back into this part of myself that I've outgrown, or that I left behind for a reason? But I'm getting it's because something essential was left in that emotional space or on that timeline. And what's coming through very strongly is that in this past, whatever it was, relationship, timeline, place, space, somehow I feel that a fragmentation took place. And I'm getting the word trauma very strongly. So there may have been some kind of emotional upheaval or trauma. And I'm also hearing shutdown. So what I'm getting from that is that there may have been an instance where there was something very intense, very emotional, maybe even traumatic, that caused a piece of you essentially to fragment off and to stay kind of caught or trapped in that timeline. And I'm hearing that because of that, it's been difficult in some ways to feel 100% alive and like energized and in the moment, because this really speaks to a dynamic that I've never gotten this kind of channeled information for before, but it's streaming through really strongly now. So I'm feeling like there's a reason it's coming up here. But the information coming through is about how most people experience these moments that are very intense or traumatic in some way. And in that moment, a part of their soul fragments off and never really moves forward. It continues to live on that timeline. And the more intense or the more traumatic the event was, the more of your soul will actually break off in that moment. This is why sometimes when a person chooses to let go of a situation that was really painful for them and really even toxic for them, and everyone around them is telling them, just move on, just let it go. But there's a part of them feeling like after they leave that situation, they're almost missing a piece of themselves, like a limb. And this is because what they're sensing is that that past timeline still holds a fragment of their soul, of themselves. And I'm hearing something about a shamanic journey, and I'm feeling like this speaks to, and I'll have to channel into some more information about this, but hold on, I'm looking it up now. I believe this speaks to a specific component of a shamanic journey where, well, I'm going to read a little bit here, but a soul fragment refers to a person's soul, a fragmented portion of a person's soul that has become separated or split off due to trauma, shock, or intense emotional experiences. A piece of your vital essence or life force that departs from your energy body during a traumatic or overwhelming event. In a shamanic context, in shamanic traditions, this would actually be referred to as soul loss. When a soul fragment departs, it's believed to do so to protect the whole soul, acting as self-defense to survive the trauma. But in a shamanic journey, I'm getting so many chills as I read this, you're guided to access the spirit world for the purpose of soul retrieval, locating and returning lost soul fragments. You journey into the spirit world to find and communicate with the missing soul fragment, and then you essentially reintegrate that fragment back into your energetic field. And I don't know why I'm feeling guided to dig so deep into this, but I feel like this really speaks to why someone is being pulled back to a particular past timeline, place, event, circumstance, or connection. Because what I'm getting is that you experienced this loss of a part of your essence. And I'm getting that phrase about not throwing out the baby with the bathwater. And it's almost like what happened is when you experienced this shock or trauma, or maybe it was a messy breakup or just some kind of really emotionally intense event or circumstance in your life that you may have felt after, you kind of just like shut down. It's like you moved forward physically, but it's almost like this part of you continued to play out that timeline. And I'm hearing ever since that occurred, you may actually have gotten flashbacks, or not even flashbacks at times. Sometimes this may have felt like glimpses into an alternate timeline where that reality was still playing itself out. You also may have experienced, because I'm now reading through some signs of this so-called soul loss, you may have experienced chronic fatigue, lack of enthusiasm, a sense of incompleteness or being not fully here, memory gaps around the event, emotional numbness or disconnection. And what I'm getting is that even in spite of that event, it's like this has been a period of time of healing where you've really begun to renew yourself by kind of working around it, not necessarily touching on it directly until now, but I'm getting that you've used other tools or practices, or sometimes maybe the most powerful tool of all, which is just learning to heal in your own presence, because the message coming through really strongly is your own presence is the strongest form of emotional healing for yourself. Whether that's sitting and being fully present just in your body with yourself, or letting yourself be fully present with your life, living your life to the fullest in the moment, staying rooted and grounded in the moment, that is such a form of healing for you. But I feel that you've been doing that and maybe using other tools as well. And your energy levels have started to rise in a very literal sense, like your vibration has been rising incrementally. And I feel now the reason you felt redirected back to this place, to this timeline, to this event, whatever it is because you're ready now to handle the processing of that energy. Whereas in the past, the reason that part of yourself fragmented is because I'm hearing your energy hadn't expanded enough to be able to process that event fully. So it's almost like your system shut down the processing, let you move on with like most of you physically with your life while leaving behind that piece of yourself. And now it's like been unlocked. Now that you are at this point of strength and confidence, and I just keep getting something about how you've learned how to be fully present with yourself and your life. And that has expanded your energy in such a way where you are now capable of truly like holding an energetic container for this processing of this emotional event from your past. And I'm getting that as you re-immerse into it or connect with it, you may actually feel some of those old emotions coming up. That's perfectly normal and natural, and part of the healing process if this is happening for you, because something major is shifting here. And I actually feel like as well, this is preparing you for something that is almost like requiring more out of you. It's like by retrieving this fragment of yourself and coming back into a greater state of wholeness, I keep getting something about your energy and like literally feeling more rested, less burnt out, more energetic. Maybe this is what you're starting to feel as you heal this part of yourself or retrieve this soul fragment. Or maybe that speaks to what you're going to feel as you move into the future. But in either case, I feel like this energy that we're describing here, that you're retrieving this wholeness of your soul essence, it is also meant to be put towards something or invested somewhere or put into something, or that's going to be coming in the future. And I keep hearing something about a calling or a purpose. So maybe there's something in your life that you've been doing or manifesting or some kind of passion or calling. And it's almost like by you retrieving this aspect of yourself, it's raising your energy levels, like healing this fatigue and burnout to allow you to have the energy to apply towards this dream or this passion or this calling, whatever it is for you. But I do feel like this has been a very strange process, and I'm getting one that very few people seem to understand. And it's not linear as well. It's almost like layers being peeled back, but it doesn't move in a linear fashion. It's not something anyone on the outside looking in would understand. I did not expect that message to come through here. I hope that's reaching whoever needs it, because that one really caught me off guard. But ironically, I see this having a really positive outcome, even if the grief right now feels intense or that emotional processing feels intense. I'm getting that what it leads to is this more positive state, like a lighter state, a higher energy state. Okay, so I'm going to be reshuffling the cards here, and that was totally unexpected, but that's why I do love these open-ended style readings where I kind of just allow whatever wants to come through to manifest through the readings, because you never really know what's going to be coming up here. Okay, so what can I channel through? I'm getting some kind of strange energy here. I'm picking up... What am I picking up here? There's a person or an energy that feels kind of hard to fully get a hold of. And what I mean by that is I feel like your intuition is a little bit unsure about this person or situation. There's like some kind of tug of war here or some kind of back and forth. Like, should I move forward with this, or should I stay connected with this person, or should I pull back? There's a tug of war going on here, and it feels deeply subconscious with the moon card at the bottom of the deck. Can I get any information on this internal tug of war? I'm seeing someone like sending text messages that you're receiving. Maybe you text this person. I don't know. Maybe these are non-literal messages, like metaphorically, they're sending you some kind of signal or some kind of message. But what I'm getting is that whatever messages they're sending you, whether it's literal or metaphoric, it's almost like on the surface, something about it is drawing you in or appears to be enticing. But then it's almost like every once in a while, this energy comes up beneath their words, or like there's a subtext, or there's something that like just hits you the wrong way. And you wonder if it's overreactivity within you or like oversensitivity, but I don't think that's the case. I'm hearing that's not the case because you know that you've become very intuitive. And when you feel like something is off, even when you can't really fully understand why, there's some kind of reason for that. I feel that with the world, I'm hearing you've become so whole within yourself that you can see the incompleteness within others. And I don't mean that in any kind of an egotistical way. But what I'm getting is like, you've come into this really deep knowing of yourself, so you can see when someone else's knowing of themselves is a bit incomplete. Not that any of us have all the answers or anything like that, but I just feel that you've been such a long time student of this spiritual journey that you've been on, that you've become a master, if that makes sense. You're someone who, I'm getting something about an airplane, maybe this is travel or something for someone. But what I'm getting is that you're really able to tell when someone else is almost like subconsciously trying to hide something from themselves or trying to deceive themselves out of something, or like holding themselves back with some sort of limiting belief that feels so obvious to you, maybe because you've dealt with similar limiting beliefs in the past, but that the other person is completely subconscious of. And I almost feel like that could be what's going on here. Like maybe this person has some kind of, I'm hearing inferiority complex. Maybe this is someone who deals with insecurity, but they're not even really aware of their own insecurities. I'm not sure exactly what this energy is. Okay, we have the Four of Swords and the Star. I'm going to keep trying to dive into this here. The sense that I get is that I feel like you've pulled back a bit from this person or situation. I'm hearing observer. Maybe you're really allowing yourself to just be in that observer mode, kind of aware of their reactions, aware of what they're doing, but not necessarily moving closer. That's the tug of war. It's like a part of you wants to move closer and a part of you wants to pull back. And I feel that both urges are equally valid and actually have some kind of spiritual component, which is what is making this so complicated. Because there's something here pulling you forward. I'm hearing it's the underlying, this is getting so complex, but the underlying current is pulling you forward. And what I mean by that is, I feel like there's something about this situation, if it's a situation or an opportunity, or maybe if it's a person, it's like something about their soul essence really resonates for you. There's something about this that the undercurrent of it, the energy beneath it really resonates for you. And I'm getting the word excitement. I feel like that pull forward carries with it a lot of excitement. But then what's this pulling back? It's almost like the pulling back is sensing some kind of subtext, or sensing that something isn't exactly what it seems to be, or picking up on something about this person or this situation that still seems to be a bit unconscious. Or again, if it's a person, this might be their own insecurities coming out in certain ways. I feel like this is carrying like some kind of shadow, meaning certain aspects that it's not, or they're not consciously aware of. And so even though there's this excitement pulling you forward, there's this sense that whatever you are desiring to move forward with isn't quite fully conscious and aware of itself. And as a result of that, it sometimes behaves in strange ways. It's almost like you're moving forward and then suddenly something comes up that I'm hearing it doesn't match the pattern. It's like you think you know this person or this opportunity or this situation, and you kind of get into this rhythm or flow, and then something jarring happens that just strikes you the wrong way and makes you question things, makes you wonder whether you should keep. It's like this undercurrent's pulling you magnetically forward, just like the current of a river. But then there keep being these like obstacles in the river, or like a tree branch keeps smacking you in the face here, metaphorically. And like something jarring keeps happening as you're kind of flowing in that direction. And you're wondering, like, should I just get out of the river? Like, should I just not move towards this at all? And so I feel what's been happening here is you've been really trying to tap into, I'm hearing, your own spiritual self, but also like in doing that, tap into this spiritual energy between you and this thing or this person to get some kind of clarity. And it's almost like you're really taking your time on that. With the Seven of Pentacles, I feel like you're really being cautious about being mindful of pacing this in some kind of way, being aware of where it's potentially going in the long term and not rushing into that before you feel this clarity or certainty here. I wonder why the devil is showing up here. This is really strange. Maybe this speaks to this person or this situation's shadow. Maybe they are in some kind of, I don't know, trapped in something, or there's like a part of them that's trapped in something, or still connected to something that's detrimental to them. This does feel really shrouded by secrecy. So for example, if it's in an organization or a group, this would be something that isn't publicly known. If this is a person, this is something that they're very secretive about, but it's almost like there's something here that's not fully matching up, and you're not going crazy for sensing that. I feel like part of what this reading wants to let you know is that if this message has been for you and you've been just like magnetically feeling pulled towards something, but then having these moments, these jarring moments of, wait, am I rushing into this? Should I kind of pull back from this? Is this, I don't know. It's like you're picking up on a weird energy, and both of those things are valid. Now, the strange thing is, I'm getting that, just to add another layer to this, those moments where you feel smacked by the tree branch, so to speak, or you feel jarred and suddenly want to pull back a bit. I feel like there's some kind of external pressure here. Now, maybe it's not external, maybe it's you internally to yourself. But I feel in most cases, it's like there's someone or something trying to kind of get you to believe that those moments where you're feeling a bit of a jarring sensation, get you to believe that that's somehow just your fears talking and not your intuition, or that it's just your past experiences. It's almost like this sort of gaslighting type energy. I don't know if this is like a friend, a family member, or maybe it's like your inner self-talk where there's a part of you like, is this just my past fear talking? But I'm hearing that you've healed from those fears. And you know that you have deep down. I feel like you don't really hold any fear in this situation. But it's almost like there's a part of you wondering, am I just afraid to move forward because because of some kind of fear or some kind of past experience. But what I'm getting really strongly is it's actually your intuition, which what makes this so confusing and why we're really unpacking this in this reading is it's both your intuition when you feel an undercurrent here that resonates with you, that pulls you forward, because there is a level of soul resonance here. And that's why you feel the excitement. But it's equally your intuition when you have those moments of wanting to pause or wanting to pull back. And what I'm hearing is your intuition is setting the pace through what feels to you almost like a tug of war. So when you have those jarring moments, it may be your intuition saying, okay, there might be something worth exploring here, either as some kind of mental or emotional exercise or to expand us in some way, or maybe this is an opportunity or a thing or a person we will want to move forward with. Ultimately, there's something to be explored here. But also in those moments where you get that jarring sensation and want to pull back, that might be your intuition saying, okay, yes, there's something to explore, but something has to be uncovered first before we can move forward, or something has to be brought to the light. I also keep hearing something about truth serum, and we've talked about this before, how your energy is almost like a form of truth serum for others, meaning that essentially people can't help but reveal their truth to you, even when, and sometimes especially when they're trying to hide it. It's almost like you carry such a resonance with truth, meaning you're really connected to your inner truth, to the truth of your soul, to like this higher frequency and energy of truth, that kind of open throat chakra energy, that it naturally tends to open other people in that same way or other situations, even when they may be trying to stay close to it. And sometimes even especially then, it will really trigger that opening into truth. And so I feel that for some of you listening, you may have had the experience recently, maybe with this person or situation we've been talking about here, where you've suddenly had them like say something to you, or I'm hearing leak information or leak a detail or tell you something that it's almost like they didn't even mean to say to you, or they didn't even consciously intend to tell you, but it came out because, again, you have this kind of, again, the best way I can describe it is a truth serum effect about you. With the Two of Pentacles, I'm hearing make sure it's balanced. With the Knight of Cups in the upright position, I'm hearing when someone's giving you something, before you receive it, before you take it in, ask yourself, is this really balanced? Because what I'm getting is there may be the energy of sometimes someone offering you something or giving you something with hidden strings, or giving you something that has this tone of conditionality or expectations. And that's where your intuition, your third eye chakra, and really your heart as well, because your heart will speak to you as loudly as your third eye will when it comes to like your intuition. Your emotions can tell you so much about what you're intuitively picking up on. Like if someone's making you feel a bit weird, a bit kind of like heavy, there's like a dissonance you're picking up on emotionally in the heart space, that can actually be a form of intuition as well. But what I'm picking up is it's almost like you have certain people who it's like they're making you some kind of offer, but I'm seeing someone offering you like that cup in the Knight of Cups card, but then under the cup, there are all these cords, like all these strings that come attached to something. So when you receive the offer, make sure it's coming from a place of balance. And the best way, of course, to know that intuitively is to feel it within yourself. I mean, you truly are so powerfully intuitive, so you can tell when someone's offering you something, whether it's an opportunity, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a relationship, you can tell whether it makes you feel like there is this equal flow in both directions, this equal exchange, or whether it's leaving you feeling depleted and drained and ungrounded in some way. Okay, so I am going to take this on to the extended. This has been such a fascinating reading, so I'm really excited to see what the extended reading holds for us today. I don't know exactly what we're going to be talking about there, so I'm going to do the same thing as this reading and just kind of let the messages speak for themselves, let the energy unfold itself in that extended reading. So if you have been feeling connected here and you're feeling guided to keep this reading going with me in the extended, I'll be leaving links to listen either through Patreon or through YouTube memberships. You can listen in either place, just depending on your preference. And those links will be in the pinned comment and also in the description box underneath this video. But of course, if for whatever reason you don't want to or can't join in the extended, then trust that you received everything that you needed to hear right in this reading. Thank you so much again for tuning in today. I really am sending you all so much love, and I will talk to you here again in Monday's collective reading video.